Alright, hey guys, I just got back from seeing the midnight premiere of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I just saw it with my girlfriend, and we had a good time. We had fun watching the movie, and I've been pretty excited to review it with you guys. So this will be a spoiler-free movie review. And before I start the movie review, I want to give credit where credit is due. I want to give give huge props to Paramount for taking the time and money and effort to redesigning Sonic. That original abomination that they showed in the first Sonic movie trailer was straight out of a nightmare. It it was awful, and the fact that Paramount delayed the movie and they did the redesign and actually made Sonic look good and more true to the character is just huge props to Paramount. And I wanna give that as a plus side towards the movie, is that Sonic looks good. He looks really good. Compared to what he was going to be originally. So, already points towards the movie for that. But let's talk about the actual movie itself. This is not a scripted review. Like I said, I just got back from the movie theater, so I have a lot of thoughts going on in my head right now. So yes, starting off with the review. Again, Sonic looks good. There are many scenes where he just looks fantastic. His eyes look so much better. His spikes are a lot better. He's got gloves. He's got his classic shoes for some of the movie, which is great. So yes, don't worry. Sonic does not look anything like a nightmare. He's actually looks very endearing at some parts. Another thing that was cool about the movie, I'm going to start with the positives. Another thing that was cool about the movie was that there were some cool Easter eggs in the movie. Now, I was actually surprised that there wasn't that many Easter eggs, but there were some really good ones. Like, this is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to say it, but like, literally in the first 5 minutes, I was just laughing so hard because one of the Easter eggs that they put in the movie, like within the first 5 minutes. So huge props for the Easter eggs that were in the movie, even though to me, from what I noticed, they were not that much. The movie was very lighthearted and it was very aimed towards children. I would say almost a little bit too aimed towards children in some parts, I would say. I think we need to realize that, I'm sure they do realize this, but kids grew up playing Sonic the Hedgehog in the 90s when the first game came out, and those people are adults now. So I feel like this movie could have taken some strides to be maybe a little bit more mature in a way, because a lot of the jokes in the movie were just very childish, in my opinion. Some of the jokes landed and were actually a lot of fun, and they were super funny. But then a lot of the jokes just weren't funny and just, for lack of a better term, cringe. Sonic did something in the movie that is just, this is just a hardcore fan nitpicking, but Sonic did something in this movie that I absolutely hated so much. When it happened, I literally went back in my chair and said the words no. And I never talk during theaters. Like, Sonic's personality, for the most part, throughout the movie, is okay. I don't think they got it completely right. I think they kind of made Sonic a little bit of a generic, kind of annoying, happy-go-lucky character at points. I feel like they didn't super nail his personality, but at some points they did. I could totally see Sonic doing some of the things that he did in this, but I feel like his personality was a little bit off. They made him a little bit too annoying. If you take the very first Sonic movie trailer that came out, everyone thought it looked, bad. And, the jokes that were in that trailer are what you can expect to see in this movie. So just take that, but put the fresh coat of paint that this beautiful redesign of Sonic has. And that's kind of basically the movie, except maybe just a little bit better than that. So yeah, Sonic's personality, not totally there. Like I said, they made him just a little bit annoying. But, it was endearing in a way because, Sonic's coming to Earth and he's discovering, Earth and our culture. So there's a little bit of an excuse for that. plot-wise. But there were some parts where Sonic's personality really shined through and he was extremely likable. So it's not all bad. The action in the movie was actually very... There wasn't a lot of it. If I'm recalling correctly, I mean, I just got back from the movie. There's actually not a lot of action in the movie, and that's not necessarily a downside, but I was expecting to see at least a little bit more, especially considering how many cool things they could do with Sonic's speed in the movie. So the action is very far and few in between. I don't know whatever the phrase is. Not that much action, and when the action is there, it's okay. I thought it was okay. It wasn't anything like crazy awesome. And then the whole thing with the electricity, I really didn't like. I mean, you guys have seen that in the trailer. Sonic, his quills are electric. Just like how just generically... That's so generic to tie speed with electricity, like, how the Flash does it. Every other Hollywood fast character does that. And it kind of sucks that they did that with Sonic, because in the games, as far as I recall, I've never had Sonic have electricity sparking around him when he's running fast. So that bothered me, and the electricity, it goes pretty far in the movie. Like, there's definitely a lot of it, more than I would have liked. I mean, I think it was like kind of cool when his quills would glow up blue and his eyes would turn blue for some reason. But I just thought it was a little bit too much at some parts. Again, this is me majorly nitpicking. But yes, the electricity kind of bothered me just a little bit. Again, that's such a little small nitpick. This is a very endearing attempt at a Sonic movie. I think that's what I can say. It pays very little attention to the source material, as far as I can tell. I mean, they got the rings as... I mean, you can see this in the movie trailers, that the rings are used as portals, essentially, and that is a thing in the games, but there are just some things... I mean, it's not that it doesn't totally pay attention to the source material. I just think it's just very lacking. Like, it's just not there. Like, I don't know. Again, this is a spoiler-free review, so it's hard for me to really talk about it completely. But I think it's not that they disrespect the source material, or they don't... I think it's just that they don't have that much of it in this movie, if that makes sense. Alright, so like what I'm talking about with source material, this is just a really small nitpick, and it's not necessarily a spoiler. I don't really consider it a spoiler. It's more just something else that I found kind of disappointing in the movie. That's just such a small nitpick. Was that in the trailers, when Sonic does a spin dash, he turns into his ball, like there's the sound effect there that's from the games, and that's really awesome and endearing that they put that in there. But for some reason, in the final cut of the movie, they just took out that spin dash sound effect. As far as I remember, there's no spin dash sound effects. And I don't know why they felt the need to take that out. Instead, it was just like a sound of just Sonic just hitting the road and just bouncing and going. There's no fun little video game sound effect that paid homage to the source material, like how they showed in the trailer. I feel like if they're going to show it in the trailer, and people love it, and people love that they added that sound effect, I feel like they might as well have kept it in the final cut of the movie. But again, this is just a really small nitpick that I wanted to talk about. Even the ring sound effects, I don't remember being completely 100% authentic to the games, which again is just the smallest nitpick, and maybe it was. I feel like I remember it was there, the ring sound effects were there, but it was just a little bit altered. I don't know why they would have to do that, but yeah, like whenever Sonic spin dashes in the movie, it doesn't even have the sound effect, which is just... When they would put it in the trailer, they have that expectation set, and for some reason in the final cut they took it out. I don't know, it was just another point I wanted to talk about. And I'll talk about the negatives now. There are some really dumb plot holes in the movie. I mean, I can think of two right off the bat. Maybe just two dumb plot holes that if you take more than 1 second to think about it, you're just like, yeah, that's dumb. There were just some plot holes that I'll go over in a spoiler movie review. That just kind of bothered me a little bit. Sonic's personality is good. I feel like they got it right at some parts. But again, for a lot of the parts, Sonic is they kind of made him a generic Hollywoodish character that's kind of annoying and jumping around, doing things, that are just kind of dumb. But this is coming from an adult point of view. I can totally see kids having fun with that part of Sonic. But I'm just grown up with the Sonic adventure games. I'm used to his personality in those games where he's not constantly cracking jokes. And, I don't know. It's more towards the, Baldy McNosehair jokes that he would crack in Sonic Colors, and that's more of Sonic's personality in this movie. It's not necessarily that's a bad thing, I guess, because I can understand why they would do that for kids. But then another con for me personally is that it seemed like it was aimed a little bit more towards kids than adults, when I feel like it should be this more blend, because there's going to be adults that are watching this because that grew up with playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and adults can enjoy this movie and have fun with this movie. Me and my girlfriend are obviously both adults, and we had fun with the movie, so it's not that much of a problem. That's just a little nitpick. Again, these are all just little nitpicks. Another con, or something I didn't like, was the action was very few and far in between. Not that the movie needs to be totally action-packed, but one of the biggest action scenes of the movie just involves... This is not that much of a spoiler. You already saw it in the trailer. So I'll just say it for a second. Is that one of the biggest action scenes in the movie is just them in a car driving. And that doesn't even involve Sonic running or doing anything necessarily cool. They're just in a car driving. It was humorous, but I feel like, it didn't really utilize how cool a Sonic action scene could be. So the action was okay in the movie. Again, there wasn't a lot of it, which is fine. A lot of the jokes didn't land for me personally. It was fun, even it wasn't like total cringe of not landing. It was just okay, that's really aimed for kids. And then like I said, Sonic does something in this movie that I just hated so much, and that Sonic would never do, and it's totally aimed for kids, completely aimed for kids, that Sonic does in this movie. You guys can probably already tell what I'm talking about. He does it, the first time he did it, I was just like, oh no, and I put my hands over my eyes because I literally did not want to see that. And then, he does it twice, and the second time I was like, oh really? Did he really have to do it twice? I don't know. It's just me nitpicking though, because I'm just a hardcore fan and I'm purist. I'm just nitpicking at this point. It was a fun movie. I can say that. It was a fun movie. Sonic's personality at some parts was really endearing. Some parts it wasn't really endearing. It was more annoying. He acted just kind of annoying. Man. What else can I say? Yes, there were some few dumb plot points in the movie. There is... I'll say this right now. And this is... I won't talk about spoilers, but guys, stay for the credits of the movie. You don't need to stay for completely after the credits, but there is a mid-credits scene that is absolutely spectacular. Please stay and watch that. Seeing that made me and my girlfriend's whole day. It was like our favorite scene of the whole entire movie was just the mid-credits scene. That was only a few seconds, but my god, it was so amazing. It just brought a huge smile to my face. The whole theater lit up and was just in so much joy. And I'll have to talk about that in my spoiler review. But yes, an amazing mid-credits scene. Not only Sonic's personality was okay, Eggman, Dr. Robotnik, whatever, Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey's being Jim Carrey, and he was really funny at some parts. But again, the personality, when you compare it to the source material of Robotnik from the games, it wasn't really alike. I could see the potential towards the end of the movie of Eggman's character, Robotnik, whatever, coming more true to the source material. And I'm excited if they would ever make a sequel. I think they'd get it right. But it was a really good start. I guess it was an alright origin for it. Jim Carrey was fun as Robotnik, I can say that. Just fun. I think that's what I can say about the whole movie, was that it was fun. It had some cool Easter eggs. It had some jokes that were really, that were funny, and the theater was laughing. Some jokes that, flew by, but they weren't absolutely cringe. They were just, they just didn't land. The action was okay. I feel like they could have done cooler things with Sonic. The electricity, I just don't like the electricity, but that's my own personal opinion. And, yeah, anyway. Electricity, it's okay, it's fine. Gosh. I'm just really still processing the movie. If I had to give it a final rating, this felt like a Netflix adaptation of Sonic the Hedgehog. I feel like that's one of the best things, like the best way I could describe it without going into spoilers. This felt like a Netflix adaptation. Like when they took the Death Note anime, which is just freaking fantastic, and then Netflix adapted it over. There was some good parts of the Netflix adaptation. Like Ryuk was really cool. But, some things were really dumb in the Netflix adaptation of Death Note. I feel like that's what you could say about the Sonic movie. There were some parts that were really cool and really fun, and there were some parts that were just kind of dumb. But that's just me being extremely nitpicky. So overall, I feel like it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I'm glad I saw it. If you're a Sonic fan, go see it, because I think we should support this movie. It's probably one of the best video game movies out there, but that's also, I don't know how much that means, because video game movies usually aren't good. This is like on Detective Pikachu levels. I would say that. I would say it was around Detective Pikachu levels, except just maybe not as much source material in it. I would have loved to have seen more Sonic source material in it. Like when there is source material in it, even though it's very far and few in between, it's very cool to see when they pay homage to the games. Yeah, if I had to give a review to the movie, I literally just got back from the theater. I would say like a 6.5, 7 being very generous, 7 max. I'm like sitting around the 6 to 7 out of 10 range for the movie. I had fun with it. Is it as good as it could have been? No, I don't think so. I think it could have been a lot better than it was. But it was good. It was serviceable. It was a fun time. If you're a Sonic fan, I think you'll have fun with it regardless. So I would say go and see the movie. I'd love to see your guys' response to this in the comments. Feel free to disagree with me. I'd love to see what your guys' opinions are. I had fun with the movie, and I think that's what matters the most. Ben Schwartz did a really good job voicing Sonic. Jim Carrey, he was doing himself as Eggman. He had his own take on the character, and that was fun. Again, it feels like a Netflix adaptation. It feels like these actors are adapting these characters into their own thing, and it was fun to see that, even though it wasn't the closest thing to the source material. You know what I mean? So, wow, I ranted for an extremely long time, and I probably sound like a broken record. I feel like I've been repeating myself over and over again with the same points. I definitely look forward to making a spoiler review, because there's some things I want to definitely talk about in the movie. But yeah, I think that's it. 6.5, 6, 7-ish range out of 10. That's what I'm going to give the movie for right now. I would recommend you guys go see it, and because I really want to know your guys' opinions, and I think it'd be really great if we supported this movie, because I can see if we got a sequel, I can see them learning so much from this first movie, especially with them seeing how much we care about Sonic's design. I can just see them going so much more, delving so much deeper into the source material for the sequel, and it could just be so amazing. It could be just fantastic. Literally, it has the potential to be the best video game movie of all time. if they really delve into that source material that they showed a little bit in this movie. If they just had a whole movie like that. And again, I need to just do a spoiler review. I will do a spoiler review video. But yes, as of right now, as I'm sitting here, 6 to 7 out of 10 range. I had fun with the movie. It felt like a Netflix adaptation. It paid a little bit respect to the source material. You know, and you know, I feel like it could have done some more. Sonic's personality was good. I feel like it could be better, but it was good and it was serviceable, especially for kids, especially considering that this is a kids movie. And yeah, I'll be putting out a spoiler review movie where I'll be talking about way more stuff in depth. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the spoiler review. Alright, see you guys later.